We're here at the Bourgeois residence for our next water garden contest winner, and joining me is Pat Bourgeois. Pat, I gotta tell you, before we get to the water garden, we just kind of had to stop and enjoy this side yard here a little bit. It's just so enchanting.
Well, thank you.
I mean, you come around the corner, you're in full sun, and then all of a sudden you go through a gate and you're here in like a secret garden. I think you've brought your English touch to this a little bit. Can you tell me about this side yard here?
It used to be full shade before we had the freeze, and I lost my clay myrtles to the ground.
Oh, okay.
But surprisingly, in 3 years, they're what, 8 foot tall now?
Yeah, they're...
So I'm hoping by next year or the year after, we're back in the shade again. Being English, I really don't take to the Oklahoma Heat too well.
I don't know that I do, being Oklahoman. So tell me a little bit about this lawn, first of all, because very rarely do I ever see a Mondo grass lawn, but I love this. I love what you've done here.
Well, it's wonderful. For one thing, we cut it once a year in springtime, usually to get any dead growth and freeze more out of it. And then that's it. I fertilize it once a year.
And I notice how it transitions to cobblestone down there. Tell me about that down there.
That's another necessity. I live on a hill, so therefore the water rushes down the side, and it was either always muddy or washing out.
Well, I love the color here. I love your arbors with the wisterias. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
And I hear the water teasing us a little bit. Do you mind if we go take a look at the water garden now?
Let's go.
Pat, this backyard is just amazing.
Well, thank you.
And your water garden, I love this. You've done something here that a lot of people don't do, and that's put one right underneath trees. Tell me a little bit about that decision.
Well, we wanted something that we could view from the house and close to the house. I didn't want anything that we had to go to the pond. And in actual fact, my whole backyard is shade. So this seemed like the logical place because it was down, and it made for having a creek all along the back, the side fence there.
Yeah, and that's quite a creek you have. It's about 15 feet long almost.
Right.
And runs the length of your whole backyard.
Right.
So that's one way to divide your neighbor's yard from your yard.
Well, actually, we have a little gate there, so we can go through, so it's easy to step over.
So they get to enjoy it as well.
They do.
Very nice. So you have goldfish instead of koi. And which is a nice alternative, especially for more of a low-maintenance garden, right?
Correct. Goldfish are very low maintenance.
And you've got several bog plants in here and water lilies. Tell us a little bit about how that sun exposure affects your plants.
Well, we can grow green. So the bog plants do very well. They tend to get a little taller for the sun, but we have to sacrifice on pretty lilies that so many people have.
But I'm guessing you probably don't have an algae problem like a lot of times we get in full sun water gardens.
Correct. In actual fact, we put that water in 30 years ago and have not made a full water change in all those years.
Really? So you've been landscaping back here for 30 years. Tell me a little bit about how it looked when you first moved in here.
Well, I put grass along the back here, and of course under the trees it wouldn't grow, so we would have one bare spot, and then another bare spot. Unfortunately, we're on sandstone, so very difficult to dig.
Yes.
So my backyard is really like one big plant pot. You go 3 foot down. We double spaded it.
Okay.
And did a lot of compost.
And so this used to all just be grass and trees back here.
Correct.
And eventually it's evolved into this, which is, I think, just a mosaic of color of green, really, but texture and form. Tell me a little bit about some of the plants. I love the shamrocks that we have behind us here, too.
Yes.
The pop of purple.
I try to get the color. In springtime, it's very colorful with azaleas and camellias and all the woodland phlox.
And what's unique is you've got pachysandra next to sedums, which I wouldn't think would go together, but, you know, typically one likes more. But you've got enough dappled sunlight coming through that the sedums are doing all right. And then your hostas, you've got quite a collection of different sizes of hostas, too.
Well, before the storms, we had even more shade, so the hostas did wonderful. One or two of them's getting burnt now, so they need to be moved. But a lot of times I just push plants. Someone will give me something, and I'll just see if it'll grow. So
And then it finds its way eventually.
it finds its way. And if it doesn't grow well there, I try somewhere else. So.
Well, one of the unique plants that I think you have that a lot of people don't know about is this rice plant. Tell me a little bit about that rice plant.
Well, the rice plant is wonderful. This year, for some reason, it hasn't grown as well as it has in the past, and it's a lot smaller. One of my friends said theirs is 5 foot tall this year, so it's a nice plant to have around the pond because it is a perennial, and it's very tropical looking, and so...
It's got those massive palmate leaves, and normally the shrub will get about 5-6 feet tall even, likes shade, right? So it's a very unique plant for Oklahoma that a lot of people don't know about, but I love how you've used it around your water garden here to kind of soften the rocks.
I like a lot of plants. I like too many plants. I can't resist the plants. So.
No, you can never have too many, and I appreciate the charm that you've added in with some of your little, you said friends have given you gifts and things like that. It makes it special here. I can definitely tell you've been tending to this garden for quite some time. It definitely shows.
Thank you.
And it looks like your fish might be a little hungry.
Okay, let's give them a little food. I use this little sprinkler so that when the children come over, they don't overfeed. So
That's a smart idea. Well, Pat, thank you so much for sharing your backyard with us.
well, thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this video as part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on the OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.